Welcome to Halas Hall Report, live every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and Sunday mornings at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Live talking Chicago Bears football with Mike the Bear Fan. And your host, Ken Dobb. Also on the panel, we have the football analyst, Woody, who was named for the Woody wrap-up on game days. Next on the panel, we have Bear Down Mike. He is the youngest, but don't be fooled. This guy knows this Bear squad. He can bring a different insight. Halas Hall Report breaks down the Chicago Bears team all year long, from the offseason through the draft. Also, the legend of tailgating, Billy Defense Flores, joins the crew live at 1st and 10 tailgating. You can find him at all home games at Soldiers Field. Also, the Bear Fan, who has been here since the first year of Halas Hall Report, welcome Bear Fan Dan, where he is known for studs and duds after every game. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Roku if you have a TV. They are all over social media. You won't find no better sources for Chicago Bears news like injury reports, team updates for breaking news for all the good and the bad the team does. Halas Hall Report will be live for the 6th season. And they are teaming up with the best sports podcast out on social media.
This is Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning. Day one of the post-Justin Fields era has begun in Chicago, and this is the Halas Hall Report. With us today, we have Packer backer Rob from the Ken and Ken Morning Show and the Frozen Tundra Network. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm living. Of course, our producer Mike the Bear Fan, who's back there crunching some numbers, throwing some links around, and he wanted me to remind you all that our brand new YouTube Halas Hall Report on YouTube is now up and live, and we are actually even streaming there as well as the Roku and the normal Facebook channels and Ken the Bear Fan on YouTube as well. So we have the new YouTube up, Halas Hall Report on YouTube. So check us out there as well. Great, obviously if you're watching on Roku and want to leave a comment during the show, be it our Saturday or Sunday show, you have to do it from either YouTube or Facebook so we can, get to your comment in the show, which, as you know by now, we do a lot of. So yesterday, though, Rob, we did the whole show and an after show, actually, that was post Roku on Justin Fields. So, we're not even going to get into the blowback. Hey, good morning, Dan. Dan's at an event for his daughter. She's going to kill it today. They're going to win, I believe, regionals, right? So go kill it there, Dan.
Good luck.
Good luck to her. But there's a lot of blowback. We'll get into that in Ken and Ken in the morning, probably, because we talked about it on Halas last night. However, today we have a different topic we need to talk about. And, dude, the Bears still have some work to do, right? I mean, they're not done. Obviously, now we need a quarterback. We still need a wide receiver. We need a defensive tackle because we let Jones go. And we need an edge. So that's what we're going to kind of get into a little bit today. Here is where we're at right now financially. So not much different. I think we're right around the same amount of money as the Packers, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
So $28 million. We saved a little bit of money, get rid of Justin yesterday, like $3 million or something like that, $3 or $4 million. And then here's the current starter. So, Rob, when you look at this starting lineup, and the guys in red are obviously guys we picked up via free agency or trade, and obviously we got to adjust. QB is now blank.
Yeah,
or it's Tyson Bagent right now. I'll just say Tyson Bagent. Right. So looking at this, what from a Packer standpoint, what do you think as far as where do you see the holes in this team besides the quarterback position?
Well, quarterback's obvious till you get somebody, and let's see. I mean, you could use some more depth on your offensive line. That's, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Nate Davis spent a lot of time injured last year. Devin Jenkins, he's been hurt a bit. Now, our right and left tackle are both young guys. I like Jones. I like Wright. I think they're fine. It's the interior for me.
Yeah,
then
I don't see a center. Where's your center?
Coleman Shelton, and then we also traded for. I'm brain farting.
The people in the red are that just came to our team in free agency.
Okay, yeah, there's this. All right, yeah, duh. Okay.
Yeah. Then we. So right now we've got.
I see your lineup there. I see your 5. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, but then we also got the guy from the Bills who's going to back him up, and he can also Bates, yeah, thank you. And he can also play guard. So yeah, edge rusher. Dan is right. Let's just dig right into edge rushers right away. Well, actually, let me ask this question on edge. Well, I'll throw it up there. Here are the free agents right now, right? Chase Young is still out there. Ngakwe is still out there. Yannick is there, right? Ngakwe is still there. Dan Lowry is there. And
wasn't Ngakwe on your team last year?
Yes.
Yeah, and then
So you guys want to bring him back? There has to be a reason why they didn't want to bring him.
He got hurt at the end of the year. So that's kind of like iffy. Can he stay healthy? He's getting up there in age. I just put him up there because he's not going to be very expensive, and he already knows the role in Chicago.
Yeah. He's just a pass rush specialist anyway, isn't he?
Yeah. I personally like.
Go ahead, Mike.
I personally like Chase Young out of the deal. We have $28 more million. Yeah, we got to address the offensive line for depth. You know what I mean? Not starters, because our starters is there. Jenkins plays great. I just hope the kid can finally stay healthy for a year. He hasn't been healthy his entire career. He's been injured half of it. But when he plays, he's top at his position. But, yeah, we definitely need to address the defensive line for sure.
And also, we have a Darcy sighting this morning. He says, thank you, Bears fans, for being Bears fans. Well, Darcy, thank you for being a Lions fan. Right back at you.
What does that even mean, Darcy?
It's a Darcyism. It's
coming from him, I don't even understand that, bro. Coming from them.
It's kind of like what would John Dorn do, except this is what would Darcy say. That's the difference. But look at with Keenan, with us getting Keenan Allen, right? And it's funny when every time I say Keenan Allen, I want to add Wayne's to it because it just sounds like he should be a Wayne's brother, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, with us adding Allen at 30 years old, that kind of changes Pole's motif a little bit. So what about Clowney? Clowney wasn't on we didn't add Clowney to the slide, but Clowney's still out there. He's still an impact guy. Is it possible if he could get Clowney at a decent price, he would take a flyer on Clowney?
I mean, at this point, man, you guys gotta. I mean, you're looking for depth. I mean, and besides anything, anybody you bring in, you'll be cheap enough that if they don't work out at camp, you can cut them.
Well, he is 31 years old. It costs about $7 million. Not bad. And if we did get him, believe it or not, Robert, he would start because we got DeMarcus Walker on the other side. So I'm not saying he's bad, but he's decent. But Clowney would definitely take his role over for the starter.
I mean, if you think he's good, if he's good enough to start on your team, then that's definitely then you got. I mean, do your due diligence, Poles. Go check him out.
Well, in the offseason, we've been lacking on defensive edge, and we thought the big splash was going to be an edge. Yeah. We set a different position last year, and then they went linebackers. So
how do you think it's going to play out? I mean, if you use your one on a quarterback, you got your 9. Do you trade it up? Do you trade it for picks, or do you go and try to get your? I mean, do you just stay pat and get the best players you can get at those two spots?
I mean, that's a train of thought.
You can't lose either way, but.
Well, and here's the thing, Rob. I think you're on to something, though, because everyone thinks that he's going to trade back on something. But as Poles has shown, whenever you think he's going to do something, he usually doesn't do it. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, look at. I mean, not to touch on Fields too much, but as far as Bears fans were concerned, for the most part, overwhelmingly, as you can tell by the blowback, most thought he would never get rid of Fields, that we were going to ride with Fields. Yet he went the opposite direction. Last year, we never thought we were going to chase these linebackers that we chased, and we did. My son this morning's like, Dad, Bo Nix actually has better numbers than Caleb Williams last year. And for his career, has better numbers. And he showed me the numbers. He's like, and they played the head-to-head. Bo Nix owned them. I'm like, okay. So he's like, well, what if we go for Bo Nix? We don't have to spend the number 1 on Bo Nix. We can get Bo Nix in the middle of the first round. And then, I mean, there's so many ways, and we're definitely going to be touching on what we're going to do at the quarterback position, right? For sure for the next couple of weeks, unless Poles comes out on Monday morning and says, hey, guess what, guys? I'm just picking at 1, I'm picking at 9, and deal with it.
I mean,
we got a ham sandwich there from Pittsburgh, TJ.
Yeah, Poles is not going to do that. He's going to go all the way to the draft to see Big Hall if he can get it and stuff like that. But yeah, who was it? Chad? I think it was his CJ. CJ, we only got a 6th-round pick from him, unless he played 51% of the snaps. Then when it turns into a 4th.
Which I think is totally shady, because right after you guys did this deal, they come out and announce that they clearly going to keep him as a backup, that they're probably going to extend. They're going to extend Wilson. I mean, all this stuff came out after you guys made the deal.
I think though the way they do it, though, they can't really extend Russ till the season's over. It might affect the Denver money. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I wouldn't even extend Russell until after next year anyway. When they're still paying him another year, because he gets 30-some million this year, and then the other 40 million next year from them, and you only got to pay him the league minimum. So I mean,
right? And
sorry, man,
it doesn't matter on his contract because that money is already guaranteed. He's getting it regardless. Okay. So that's not the question. He can do whatever he wants. It's just Pittsburgh, really, if you think about it, they won all the way around. They get Russell for cheap, league minimum vet, and then turned around and got the dip for Fields, and now they got chips and dip. You know,
I know this guy who's like, "Oh, the Steelers are doing a whole paradigm shift in their way of thinking." I'm like, dude, they got a quarterback for league minimum, got another one for a hand sandwich. Not really a paradigm shift, considering that they got 2 high-quality players for nothing. That's just smart. Smart business.
Did you guys have a feeling when you heard that the trade went through, that they traded Pickens out of there? I mean, right then, I mean, honestly, man, red flags were up instantly when that happened, because there was talks of him going there earlier in the season.
Yeah,
and as soon as I'm thinking, unless they move on Pickens, why would they do that? And what happened? As soon as he was gone, bro.
I honestly, I don't want to say I didn't pay it any mind, but I didn't have the same reaction. I just figured, okay, they're going to draft someone later to groom, right? And they're going to keep Russ there for a little bit. I was at a track meet yesterday, and I was riding my motorcycle home when the trade went down. And I get off my bike, get home, pull the phone out, and it's just blown up on the Fields trade. I don't know. I mean, we're having to spend a lot of time the next couple of weeks, like answering the question Dre has. Is it Daniels or Williams, or is it Bo Nix, or is it another quarterback? That's definitely a need that we have to address now, and we're gonna take a couple weeks probably addressing it. When it comes now to the wide receiver position, the defensive end, defensive tackle, that's still positional needs here that we need to address relatively quickly, and I think you can only address maybe one of them via free agency with any impact. Like, let's say you get Chase Young and now it's 15 mil because other teams are interested instead of 13. So, okay, now you've got like 7 mil left. That's after draft picks. You got 7 mil. You're not getting a defensive tackle for $5 million a year. That's going to be anything more than a stopgap. You're not getting you might get a wide receiver 3, like you're going to maybe re-sign EQ, right? EQ for another mil. I mean, he's a decent big body wide receiver 3 who blocks well, right? But you're not, but are you drafting Roma Dunez now at 9? Are we doing that now? I mean, there's still, like, look at 9, I could see us not trading out anything at all. Let's say we take Caleb at 1. At 9, now we have to take an edge or a receiver. So if Dallas Turner is there, boom, we take him if we haven't signed an edge. I would take him over a Dunez because he's more of a pressing need, right? But you also kind of need a Dunez. Because now you've got a rookie stud receiver on a 5-year deal versus 2 years left on DJ Moore, 1 year left on Keenan Allen, who's 31. And even if you extend him to 2 years or 3 years, that doesn't give you much stability down the road. And it looks like this team is built to win today, not 3 years from now. I mean, that's the feeling I get, Rob. Is that what you're seeing from your foxhole?
I mean, you guys have definitely made some moves to where, I mean, you filled your tight end, wide receiver. I mean, you added running back. I mean, every position almost on the offense you guys have added to, except the line. And wait, you added a lineman too. I mean, you take one more wide receiver somewhere in this draft that you can get as a starter. Even if it's in the second round. We find second round starters all the time. So, was that? I can't understand why they would strengthen their wide receiver.
I mean, there's some validity to that.
It's just to give more weapons to the quarterback. I mean, clearly, if you got better wide receivers, you can get more options.
Well, this is part of that Justin Fields blowback, though. People are like, wait a minute. We gave that kid nothing while he was here. Then when we load the team up, we get rid of him for a ham sandwich.
Yeah, but he wasn't really using. I mean, he had like tunnel vision for DJ Moore and Kmet. Those were his only two. You got other guys, man. I mean,
can you remember the last time we had a duo, anything like Keenan Allen and DJ Moore? I can't remember.
Cuddy.
Especially on top of Kmet.
No, well, we had that with Cuddy. Cuddy had Brandon Marshall and I
was going to say it had to be when you had Marshall,
Jeffrey,
and Jeffries. Yeah, Deshaun Jeffries. Yeah.
And then that year we had, and when they had Adam Gase as OC, that offense was lit. That thing, they were the number 2 offense in the league. And
what was the defense or the offense you guys were running?
The defense was like dead last. They were putting Cuddy's putting up 42. Yeah, they were putting up points, but the defense was giving up faster than we could score them. This is what we've done so far, right? These are all the moves. So there's a lot of really good moves here. I mean,
man, if this doesn't improve, I mean, you guys won 7 last year. I mean, I see 10 wins, 11 wins at least. I mean, you guys are going to contend for the division.
And it almost doesn't matter who the quarterback is with everything you've done. So,
well, it does matter because it's going to – I mean, you want to make sure you develop your quarterback. This is listen, guys, you guys – I'm not saying nothing you haven't heard. You guys got to develop your quarterback. Pay good attention to that. Yeah. I mean, Rick – go ahead. I'm not even –
No, I was going to look. We might as well just look what John said, right? I mean, dude, you don't have to get all top tier guys to fill holes effectively because a bunch of 2-tier guys are going to be more effective than 1 or 2 1-tier guys. Especially, when you talk about cohesion, building a line, the group, it's good to have a couple studs, which the Bears do, right? But you don't need to have a stud number 1 guy at every position because A, it's not feasible financially. And then B, there's an ego issue there, right? I mean, so John, that's not a slam. I know you're trying to talk a little smack there, but that's not a slam, dude.
I mean, are you guys? It's really going to come down to your quarterback, honestly. I mean, you need a good quarterback. You need someone in there that can manage. It just got to be a game manager. He doesn't have to be, but he's got to give you, 20 touchdowns, maybe 3,000, 3,500 yards. I mean, first year he's got to give you something, man. You guys need that. You got the players to do it.
Right. Like Robert, you guys got one of the youngest teams in the NFL. If you look at our offense averages at 25 and a half years old.
Yeah. So you guys, I mean,
rookie, it's going to be about 25. And that's a young offensive team.
Everybody's going young. They watched Green Bay do it last year. They saw that they made it to the playoffs. It looked good. I mean, Jordan Love spread the ball around, bro. He didn't have a wide receiver 1 at any point during the season. Nobody, every game it was someone else that came in and someone else stepped up. And you guys got the same opportunities now. You added more people, and you could still pick up some more decent guys in the draft. I mean, I would get my quarterback with the 1. I mean, just screw it. Get my quarterback with the 1, whoever I want. You got your choice of any one of the quarterbacks. Poles needs to do his research and make sure he makes a great pick. If it's Caleb or if it's, one of the other guys, it really doesn't matter who. Just get your quarterback and then use that 9 pick and get you a couple second round or whatever, trade it around. Get something, bro, something. Yeah, no, you're right. One of the biggest thing I ever said about the problems the Bears had was coaching. It's always been coaching, and I'm still not sure why they kept Flus. I really don't know. That's a Poles thing. He could have got he's going to get his quarterback in this draft, and he could have had his coach too if he wanted.
Flus hasn't done that bad. Yeah, he's not offensive minded, but look what he's done with that defense. He really turned it around.
I understand. But I mean, like I always say, the way I look at Poles was a smart GM. What he did was he took over this job, gutted it, and everything he does to it makes it look better. So it keeps him looking like he's a genius, putting more guys in there. And that's just it. You had nobody when you guys won 3 wins. Now you added to it, and now look, you went up to 7. Now you guys are going to add even more. I mean, just get your quarterback and I mean, honestly, like when you said it yesterday, Ken, you said that Poles said Fields is his guy unless somebody overwhelms him. Well, he had his chance to be that guy last year, and you're right, he did do better, but it wasn't like a major jump that would say, I can't get somebody. I think he feels like he's in the same spot if he takes a new quarterback this year. He's got this guy and this guy. It's the same.
Right, and this year now he's got all his guys. No questions asked. There's only
no question. There's no excuses now for this to work or
there's
fail.
Only one person on this roster that's been here since 2020, and that's the long snapper, Lucas Scale or Patrick Scale.
And then you guys just secure him up for another.
Dude,
we do it by year.
I love Patrick Scales. Yeah, we just sign him year by year. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna give him the league minimum every year, just sign him to a 3-year league minimum deal. You know, and Patrick will sign it.
The minimum changes, so if he doesn't,
I know he gets a little pay raise every year. Yeah, he gets like an extra couple grand every year. But I mean, Rob, I'm almost at the camp where I'm like, I agree with you. I'm like, just take your quarterback at 1, take your other positional need at 9, whether it be an edge or a wide receiver. Probably wide receiver, and just go out and you can get Ngakoue all the way up to training camp probably if you really need to. And Ngakoue, it's not like he played bad last year, but yeah, he broke his foot. But you know what? Once Sweat showed up, he started to play really, really good. But there's other edges that we can go out there and get to be a win now Band-Aid. But maybe and then you got your 3rd round and your 4th round pick. So with those 2 picks, you go get like maybe another O-line guy or D-line guy rotation, or maybe a receiver.
4 picks, like you said, Ken. Only 4 picks. Those first 2 picks, I guarantee it's going to be starters.
Well, no, yeah, exactly, Mike. But what I'm saying is, I'm kind of in Rob's camp right now, like where he might not trade anything back. Like you draft your quarterback at 1, and then you draft a Dunez, let's say at 9, and then in the 3rd round you draft the best O-line guy available to fit your interior O-line, either a guard or a center. And in the 4th round, you go get you a defensive tackle. And then you call it a day and you get ready for camp. And then you go sign Ngakoue or Clowney or whatever edge you want that's still there. That's going to be any of those guys put with Montez Sweat's going to be impactful, right? And you spend $10 million. You give Ngakoue another $10 million like you gave him last year. To come back. But I'm saying you could. I mean, I'm just throwing the number out there, 10. And maybe it's more like 7. But still, you don't have to draft Turner. You go out and you get a Dunez, which means now you give, let's say if it's Caleb, 3 stud wide receivers and a couple projects to throw to. And the defense is still solid. No, the defense is going to be solid anyways, just with Gervin Dexter there and Sweat. So, okay, if I draft another defensive tackle and with Poles' hit rate, odds are even in the 3rd or 4th round, the guy's going to be good, where he's going to get a lot of field time. And then you just go spend some money on an edge guy like a Ngakoue for $7 million, who's still going to, but we addressed the secondary already. We've addressed it. We've signed 3 safeties and a corner already.
Okay, we got Bynyard, will be a starter, and we even got that youngster from the Packers, Owens. I went and looked at him. I didn't really know much about him. I watched some film on him, and he looks pretty decent.
Yeah. And he's the reason why we won free agency. Why? Because we made Simone Biles happy, because she no longer has to take connecting flights to see her husband play. Look, if you can make someone's wife happy as a married man, you have won. So we have won free agency just because we made his wife happy. That's all. That's it. But the Bears have addressed all their other needs sufficiently, I think, except for defensive tackle, edge, and wide receiver. And look, it's not to say they haven't addressed wide receiver, because obviously they have, but more of a long-term fashion or complete. Because right now your wide receiver 3 is Scott, and while Scott's fast, and my son is a wide receiver, loves Scott, and I see potential. He dropped too many balls last year. Maybe he takes a step, but I'd rather go get a Dunez and have that kid locked in for 5 years.
It's
So
smart.
I'm kind of
even
like
if it's down the line, it looks good. I mean, it helps your team down the line for sure.
So we're definitely Warren.
Go get Tyler Huntley. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, you guys need to find. I mean, how many quarterbacks are out there that you guys need to get? I mean, if you don't want your rookie to get killed, you need to put someone out there and you need to find the most competent guy you can find. I mean, people were talking about in the back chat this morning about the legit who's out there for you guys.
Actually, though, you know what though, and I disagree with CJ here. I think the O line. Let me pull it back up again, and we've only got a few more minutes here. Don't forget that with a few minutes before I go into this, we're at 13K followers on Mike the Bear Fan on Facebook. Of course, we're doing a free giveaway once we hit 14K. So if you've not yet gone to Mike the Bear Fan on Facebook, go there, like, share, become a member. Once we hit 14K, we're going to do another giveaway, some more signed merch. And let me bring back I was going to. There we go. The O line. That's starting O line. Actually, that's pretty good. We need a little more depth, and we've got 2 people at the center, and our backup center is also a backup guard.
And you can't forget either. We did draft a center years ago, Doug Kramer. He's sitting third, but he'll probably be cut, I think, this year.
So I think we have addressed we've definitely addressed the O line. Could we address it more? Yeah, you always can. But look at. People don't know this, but in Rob's backyard, he's got a garden. And in that garden, he grows linemen for the Green Bay Packers. Okay. Yeah. We don't have someone growing linemen in our garden. They have Rob growing linemen in his garden.
We'd take that 6th-round pick you got and turn it into a gem, boy. Let me tell you.
I tell you. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do. But we may not trade anything back. We may just draft quarterback, and then either edge or wide receiver, and then go O-line, D-line in the 3rd and 4th round and call it a day. And then go try to spend money on whatever we didn't do. It's not going to be big money. I mean, it could be impact, but it's not going to be big money, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where I see us. I know, Rob, I mean, as a Packer fan, you're probably like, well, damn, like, please don't do that. Do something stupid.
It's now, I mean, before when you guys were all like, Fields is our guy, we were all like, all right, well, he hasn't beat us, in 6 straight games. I mean, what's there to be scared of? But now the unknown of who you're going to get, it's a whole nother thing now.
Well, whoever we get is going to be 1-0 against the Pack to crush that 10-game fucking losing streak we got against you. It's just,
well, we'll see. That's why we lace them up.
Yeah, so, well, hey, we're down about to the last minute or so before we have to get into the other stuff. But please go to Mike the Bear Fan on Facebook. Give us a like and a share. Once we hit 14K, we're doing another free giveaway. Thank you to the Roku audience. Thank you for Packer Backer Rob from the Ken and Ken Morning Show for coming on with us. Don't forget tomorrow morning, Ken and Ken in the Morning with myself, Rob, and Ken at 10 a.m. Central. Don't forget Frozen Tundra tomorrow night. What time are you on tomorrow night, Rob?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Roku and on the Facebook channels. And then, of course, next Saturday night, I won't be here. I'll be on vacation, but we'll be back for Halas Hall on Roku and all the YouTubes and Facebook next week at 7 Central. A lot more to come, guys. We're not done yet. It's going to be a busy off season. But until tomorrow, bear down and good luck, everyone. Stay safe.